Good morning, beautiful friends. So I know it's been a while since I've been here. Um, but no excuses. There's just been a lot going on for me. So it took me a little while. And plus, I actually kind of struggled with this chakra lesson a little bit. Just because it is so metaphysical. And even though like I am a Reiki practitioner, I'm very much into metaphysical. It's still a lot to wrap your mind around. So it took me a while to really get into it. But everything is ready and here we are. So we're going to get started. I'm going to get started with a little breathing and a burning of sage just to get the energy in a good place. I just did a Reiki session for a client today. So I'm feeling pretty powered up and I'm ready to go. All right, so just got some sage smoke coming through there. Just take a big deep breath in. Release. Just be in the moment. To learn and to do some self-healing. So I'm excited about this chat, even though it took me a little while to get here. Because the third eye is very, very interesting and I've learned a lot of great things about it. So I'm just really excited to share that. So hopefully we'll get some people live. If not, make sure you leave a comment in the replay. Let me know that you caught the replay. And let's talk about it. So the third eye, the Sanskrit word for that is Anya. And it means servant or command. So what that means in relation to the third eye, it's kind of like the command center from our highest self, from God, from divine, from universal life force, whatever you want to call it. It's a sense of spiritual guidance. So it's not that you are a servant or that you're under command or anything like that. It just means that that is usually where the information is going to be received. So this is where your third eye is. It's right here. And I don't know about anybody else, but since I've started doing this kind of work, I'm trying to connect to people, especially when I'm doing distance Reiki sessions. I can actually feel something right here when I'm doing sendings. Good morning, Kayla. So good to see you. So I actually feel it. So it's really interesting and I love it. And anytime that I'm trying to connect with somebody on a spiritual level or when I'm doing card pulls or anything of that sort, I always have like this weird feeling right here. It's my third eye. So at a glance, the third eye is your psychic vision. And the key issues with that is balancing the higher and lower selves. So as we know, like this world is just created in duality. There's not necessarily that there's good and bad, but there's always two sides. There's your highest self and then there's your shadow self, right? So that comes into your higher self and your lower self, just depending on where you're at vibrationally, which self is coming through. So with that, we can have trouble trusting our inner guidance or not listening to our intuition, right? Because this is what the third eye is all about. It's the inner aspect is of our intuition. This is where it resides. This is where all of our information is coming in from. So if there's any sort of block or any sort of deficiency or any sort of excess energy, then we're not able to trust our instincts because a lot of the time it's our brain that's taking over when there's guidance that's actually trying to come in through to you from your higher self or from God, from universe, whatever it is that you want to call it. Good morning, Mariana. So the inner aspect is your intuition. The emotional aspect is your clarity. So if you ever find yourself in a situation where you're really unsure which way to go, you have a decision to make, you can go one of two ways, maybe you can go one of three ways, and you're just not sure what to do, you're having trouble listening to your intuition on which way you need to go, then really taking the time to clear out your emotional body, to allow that third eye to bring clarity to you. Just ask the question and sit in meditation, and the clarity will come to you, especially if your third eye is balanced. Okay, and then the spiritual action is meditation. So the greatest way to get connected to your third eye and to have it functioning is through meditation and visualization, because that's where all of this is residing. Okay, so I'm just excerpt from my Crystal Reiki book. about when your third eye is balanced, when it is deficient, and when it is excessive. So let's take a look at what can be happening. So if you're having any of these issues, do make sure you reach out to me. Distance Reiki is just as powerful, if not more powerful, than in-person Reiki. Really helps to relax the system, clear out the chakras, and get some energy flowing again. So the third eye, or some people also call it the brow chakra, and the Sanskrit term is the Anya. So the third eye chakra is in the middle of your forehead. It is indigo or purple and represents the element of light. It regulates our psychic, cognitive, and sensory abilities. It enables us to think both logically and abstractly, function intuitively, as well as learn, remember, visualize, focus, imagine, dream, and understand the difference between fantasy and reality. Clairvoyance is the psychic ability to see subtle energy, realms, spirit, time, and space is governed by this chakra. So related organs and parts of the body are the eyes, the medulla plexus, the ears, and the central nervous system, the cerebellum, the brainstem, and the pituitary gland. So we're going to get into a little bit more on how all of that works together. I have quite a bit written here that I want to go over with you guys on how that works and how it kind of brings everything together. So when the third eye chakra is balanced, we are able to learn and develop new ideas, languages, and information, grasp new concepts, and see or consider things from different perspectives. Both our long-term and short-term memory capabilities are functional and sharp. I don't know about anybody else, but I've been having a really hard time remembering things lately. My memory has been really awful. I've been trying to like chalk it up to this like seasonal affective disorder that I have. Just when there's not enough sun, I definitely do get a little bit depressed. And then when I start getting a little bit depressed or anxious, then my memory is just out the window. So that my third eye needs some work on. Alrighty, let's see, where was I? We can focus our attention as well as tune out distractions, visualize with our mind's eye, and intentionally shift our consciousness from awareness to a trance state with ease. We're able to process sensory information that informs us both of our internal and external worlds. Our imagination flows freely, we frequently remember our dreams, and our intuition is clear and strong. We are capable of and open to developing our own psychic strengths and abilities. So that's when it's perfectly balanced. When the third eye is deficient, we feel that our intuition is blocked or have trouble distinguishing between our intuitive guidance and our fear-based inner voice or dialogue. We have trouble feeling inspired or connecting with our imagination, and we have difficulty remembering our dreams. We may experience challenges in learning, remembering, and processing new cognitive or sensory information. We often have a limited perspective and experience an inability or unwillingness to change our perspective. See things from a different angle, consider new or alternative possibilities, and understand another's position or viewpoint. Our thinking can often feel clouded, vague, or unclear. Oftentimes we develop eye and ear health issues and experience frequent sinus congestion or infections. So that's another thing to keep in mind too. I know that I personally have some friends that have a lot of sinus issues that just never seem to go away. So it very well could be related to the third eye chakra, especially if everything else, like I always say, medically has been eliminated, then there's something on a spiritual / emotional level that might need to be done. You too, Mariana. So it's not just that it's the time of year. It is also that we are in a retrograde. So that can affect our memory as well. So I'm not sure if maybe that's what's going on for you. But for me, the memory thing has been happening for about 2-3 months now. So I can kind of see that there's an issue with the third eye. Especially when it comes to remembering my dreams. I'm normally really amazing at remembering all of my dreams. They're always like a story, but I haven't lately. I've been really struggling with that. I can remember bits and pieces of my dreams, but I'm not remembering at all. So then when a third eye chakra is excessive, so this is when we have too much energy flowing in the chakra and the wheel is just kind of spinning out of control and it's losing energy everywhere just because it's going too fast. So when it's excessive, we have unduly suspicious nature, questioning other people's motivations, thoughts and intentions without any basis or provocation. We can be prone to projection of our own issues and feelings onto others, taking things too personally, and being overly absorbed with ourselves and our personal dramas. That used to be me, that's for sure. Frequently, we're unable to focus and experience a lack of clarity due to scattered thinking and impulses. While our intuition and psychic abilities may feel blocked, we're actually experiencing fatigue with these faculties due to overuse, overdependency, or burnout. We will frequently have headaches, eye strain, or a runny nose. So again, if any of that sounds like you, make sure you reach out to me. We can get you set up with some sessions. But to continue on, so just a little bit more information about how everything works together. So this chakra is the center of inner vision, imagination, intuition, and projection of will and manifestation. So if you're having trouble with manifestation, then there's a good chance that there's probably a couple of things that are not aligned, and there may be an issue with the chakra as well. Imagination, and visualization, like if you are in meditation and you're one of those people that are like, I just cannot visualize while I'm meditating, I don't see anything, I can't see anything, then there's a good chance that there's a block within your third eye chakra that's not allowing you to visualize, because visualizing during meditation is so powerful. You can very easily get to the bottom of a problem. You can really find the root cause of an issue. There's a lot of things that visualization can really help you get through. So if you're having trouble with that, you may want to look into a Reiki practitioner that can help you with that, whether that's me or somebody locally to you, whatever you're comfortable with. It's really important that when you do have somebody working with you on a spiritual level when it comes to Reiki, that it's somebody that you really trust and somebody that you feel good about talking to, because Reiki isn't just about doing the Reiki itself. It's also about like conversations and spiritual coaching and a lot of different aspects to it. So like there's always lots to uncover. So keep that in mind if you're ever thinking about having a Reiki treatment. So there's a really, really fun fact that I read about the third eye that I thought was really, really cool, and I wanted to share that with you guys today. And it does kind of like go back a little bit prehistoric, but just stick with me, okay? So Darwinian theorists, so those are people that are all about the evolution. That's what they believe. They believe that man started as a little molecule and we eventually evolved to what we are today. So Darwinian theorists claim that the third eye is a remainder from a reptilian stage of human evolution. So it may have actually been the primary eye to form within our brain, and should actually be called the first eye. So how cool is that? That we can, like, if we really try to activate it and really get connected with it, you can actually feel it. You can feel it right there on you. And it's like, it's just the coolest thing. And then when I read that about like the reptilian stage of humanity, I was just like, that is super cool. Like I didn't even know that. So I thought it was really neat. I wanted to share that with you. So let's talk about health issues and the third eye. So physical issues with the third eye are typically headaches, general problems within the skull, including eyes and ears. Constant stress can cause these headaches, and it's usually the body's way of letting you know that this chakra is not being nourished enough. So how to nourish your chakra. So to nourish your third eye chakra, you really want to do that through meditation, like I had already mentioned, and visualization. So even if you are having trouble with visualization and you really just can't get there when you're meditating, then just try something different. Why don't you try, if there is something specific, look up a picture of it, really get it into your brain, what that picture looks like, and then close your eyes in meditation and see it, and then ask whatever the questions are that you need to ask, if there's any higher self explanation for what's going on for you. I knew you would think that was interesting, Kayla. I knew that you would. It's absolutely vital for our health, both physically and mentally, emotionally, spiritually, to be able to shut off and have quiet time. But because of today's technology-driven world, Headaches due to screen time is quite normal, as well as tension in the neck from looking down all of the time. So that's creating additional strain and stress to the eyes. So to exercise the third eye and help vital energy flow through, just take a moment to visualize the color green. Green is a very, very healing color for many reasons. So there's a very, very specific reason that most of our nature is green. And that's because it's healing to our soul. It's healing to our spirit. And it connects with our heart chakra, because our heart chakra is also green. So when the heart is calm and settled and at peace, then the rest of the chakras can kind of get back into the flow. Okay, so see it as trees, grass, nature, or just the color green. Visualizing it alone, like visualizing that or just the color alone, will help the chakra flow more easily. So, however, if you suspect that the chakra is deficient or excessive, you may benefit more from Reiki sessions, just so that that can get balanced out. And then when you are having these issues, then it's going to be really easy for you to nourish and to exercise the third eye. But you're not going to have a flow going if there's already a block or an excess in energy. So other physical ailments that can occur is hyperthyroidism, hypothyroidism, sleep disorders such as insomnia, which is something I used to suffer from too, actually. That's interesting. And sinusitis, I think. I don't know how it's pronounced. But just when your sinuses are always like blocked and you just can't seem to get it to move. Kayla says, I constantly have neck headache from the tension in your neck. Yeah. So there's like lots of different stretches that you can do. And I'll show you some yoga poses as well that you can do that can probably help with the tension in the neck. There's a technique that I know that I'll reach out to you after, that I'll give you some information on that you can try to do for yourself at home, or booking another Reiki session for you, Kayla, might actually be helpful. But I think stretching, I think it's more about muscles and tension, because I'm just like, as I'm tapping in to you spiritually, I can feel that it's mostly tension. And I don't think it's from your neck. I actually think that it's coming from lower down. I think your issue is actually more so between your shoulders. So I know that I might feel like a neck tension headache, but I feel like it's coming from lower down. I could be wrong. Let me know. So back to the physical ailments. So the thyroid issues also presented itself when we went through the throat chakra, if you can remember. That's because the throat chakra is directly related to the thyroid gland and the thymus gland. And what the third eye is it's actually connected to the pituitary gland. So the pituitary gland is actually a gland that it's kind of like the king of the endocrine system. It kind of runs the whole show for your hormones. So if there is something that's going on in the third eye, it could be creating hormonal imbalances for you. That's going to create the hyper or the hypothyroidism. And that can also create the sleeping disorders, because what's going to happen is if your endocrine system is not working properly, then it's also going to spitfire other things. And we're going to get into that. I just don't want to make sure I miss anything here. So all the endocrine glands work together, and the pituitary kind of orchestrates them all to work together harmoniously. But if something is not sending the proper info to the brain, it can cause the endocrine system to malfunction in one of two ways: too much or too little. So you're hyper and you're hypo. And since the pituitary gland is also where melatonin and serotonin output resides, if out of balance, can create sleep issues. So if sleep is words. All right. Sleep disorders is an ailment you suffer from, please find a Reiki practitioner to help. So that can be through distance or together, like in person. That's totally up to you, whatever you are most comfortable with. But especially when it comes to sleep issues, sleep is so, so, so important, not only for our physical and mental body, but for our spiritual and emotional bodies too. I don't know about anybody else, but when I'm really tired, I can get like mad, or I can get incredibly sad, like at the drop of a dime. And that's because my serotonin and melatonin levels are off. And I could spend days in bed. Like I honestly could, but I know that that's not good or helpful to me. So because just getting that part figured out can be really hard for someone to do for themselves, by themselves. So having somebody to help you can really help get you through the sleep issues that you might be having. All right, so this, especially if it's a serotonin deficiency you're facing, the level of serotonin affects the regulation of mood, sleep, sexuality, menstrual cycles, and appetite. So if you're having any issues with any of those things, then there's a good chance that there's something going on with your serotonin. Okay. It also plays a role in disorders such as depression, anxiety, and migraines. Interesting. So the emotional effects of the third eye. There's a few emotional aspects to the third eye chakra when it's out of balance. It can make us feel disconnected spiritually. It can really make us feel like, what's the point of being here? What's the purpose of life? It can really start making us like ask those existential questions that are just really too difficult to comprehend all of the time. And that can sometimes send your emotions into a bit of a whirlwind, right? So you want to make sure that you're taking care of that. And it can also make us feel like we're not of our own body. So I don't know if you've ever had a feeling where you felt disconnected to your body, or that you were having like an outer body experience. That can sometimes happen when the third eye is out of balance and it's affecting our emotional body, because what's happening is our emotional body is kind of taking us out of our physical body a little bit, because it doesn't feel safe. So we want to make sure that we are connecting all of our bodies back together so that we can be whole, we can be grounded, and we can protect our energy. Because if we're just floating around there, we are not protecting our energy, and then we're susceptible to psychic attacks. Now, I know that that sounds scary, and it can be, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. It can just sometimes be just absorption of negative energy can be considered a psychic attack. And we want to make sure that we don't do that, because we don't want to be absorbing other people's energies, because that's not going to serve our highest self. And that's going to send us into a bit of an emotional whirlwind. It's not going to understand, right? And it can sometimes make us feel like we just don't belong in this world, that we don't belong here, that we don't fit in, those kinds of feelings. That stuff can come from your third eye, and as well as your root chakra. There's a connection there about that too. It can be really difficult to concentrate. So that racing mind that you sometimes get, where you just can't get it to shut off, and it's just like pin firing all of these thoughts. That's just usually your third eye being overactive, and it's creating just this inability to just be quiet. And it's really important for our brains that we are able to be quiet for even just a few minutes a day. So it's usually happening because the third eye and the crown chakras are likely unbalanced. So next week we're going to talk about the crown chakra a little bit more, because they're really connected. So your crown chakra is the one at the top of your head, and this is your third eye. So they're very much connected. And there's also part of your crown and third eye that comes out on the back of your head. So you're connected through here and then here. It's all very connected. So we're going to have a lot of similar things going on with the crown chakra, but we'll get into a lot of that next week. So it can also block us from the ability to see the big picture of a situation. So we kind of get blinders on when our third eye is imbalanced. We kind of only see things the way that we want to see it, with the solution that we want to have, but we're not looking at what could be the bigger picture of it. Trying to think of an example right now. But just say that, okay, as an example, let's just say that you're going for a job. You're going for a new position, and this is what you want. This is exactly what you feel you need. This is going to make you feel happy. You have all these thoughts going through your head, like, I got to get this job because this is going to feel good. It's going to make me happy. You've got your blinders on. Okay, because you're like, this is what I want, this is what's going to make me happy. But that's not necessarily true. There might be another opportunity coming for you. So you need to be able to have that third eye balance so that you can see the big picture of things, that not always everything is going to work out exactly the way that we want them to, because it's not necessarily meant to happen that way. Everything happens exactly the way that it is supposed to, right? So sometimes we need to just take a step back and try to look at the bigger picture. And if we're having trouble with that, then maybe get back to nourishing and exercising that third eye so you can get the clarity and the intuition on what it is that you actually need and what you actually want and what the universe is willing to provide for you. Yeah, that's pretty much what I just went off about. So there is another little thing that I want to read through from the Chakra Bible, just because it had a really interesting little excerpt there about spiritually, the effects of the third eye and like kind of some of the things that you can tap into with the third eye. And then we'll get into the yoga positions, the crystals, and the essential oils as well that can help you out with it. So, psychic skills and the third eye. So, esoterists claim that when activated with divine light, the pineal gland links to the pituitary gland. Okay, so your pituitary gland is kind of like in the center of your brain. So let's say that this is the bottom of my brain here. If we were to get into the center of it and kind of in the middle, that's where your pituitary is. And then your pineal is kind of back here. So that's why I mentioned about the two spots about the third eye and the crown and how that's all connected, because those glands are kind of connected together through these chakras as well. So when they link, it becomes a communication channel with the higher spiritual planes and enabling an exchange of information. They say that the crown chakra increases in size and strength, and the center point of its vortex of energy reaches down to the pineal gland. As this occurs, a burst of pure pranic energy is received. So pranic energy is like the universal life force, God, divine, whatever you want to call it. When the crown chakra is activated this way, vibrationary levels throughout your auric field become highly charged with light. Some believe that the light vibrations of the astral body are sped up sufficiently. It will be able to separate from the physical body, leading to astral travel. To be able to astral travel, the third eye, pineal, and pituitary must first all be activated and vibrated in unison. This is done through deep meditation, and this is the safest way to develop many special psychic abilities, including astral travel, extrasensory perception, clairvoyance, and clairaudience. It helps to develop skills with a group of people who will support your endeavors and enable you to share queries, although don't discuss of inner experiences, since they are for you alone to understand. And then also, like on a spiritual level, if the third eye isn't quite working properly, then kind of like what I said earlier, the intuition just isn't going to be there. And then it's going to be kind of like the ego mind is going to be taking over. So it's going to be, this is what I want. This is what's going to work. That's your ego. And your spiritual body, which is open through your third eye and your chakra, to get the messages that you need to receive. Like, this needs to be balanced. Your third eye and your crown absolutely need to be balanced to really be able to hear your own intuition, because there's something really interesting that I watched yesterday and I thought it was perfect timing for this. And it kind of relates a little bit to the astral travel too, but oh shoot, see my memory. I lost my train of thought already. Give me 1 second. Oh, where was I going with that? All right. So I truly believe that we are reincarnated and that we have lived many different lives. And when it comes to that, there is nothing that we don't know. We actually know more than we give ourselves credit for. But the problem is that we're not always hearing it. We're not always sensing it. We're not always getting the intuition. We're not getting the gut feeling. We're not getting it in our body because we have blocked ourselves off from that. But there's absolutely nothing that we don't know. There's nothing that we're unsure of. So if you're ever in a situation where you're like, I'm not sure why I'm feeling this way. I've been feeling this way for quite some time. It's really uncomfortable. I don't understand it. It's not true. You do understand it. You do know what's happening. Just we need to get that third eye nourished and exercised and open and balanced so that you can really hear what it is that you need to hear. And like, this relates to my numerology too. So numerology really helps us understand the different life lessons that we've already learned, what it is that we need to work on in this life, because Earth is just really like the schoolyard of spirituality. This is where we come to learn the human lessons. This is where we come to clear any karmic debts that we may have occurred or accrued throughout the different lives. And numerology can help us take a deeper look into that, and it can help us understand where we've already been and where we're going. And then when the third eye chakra is balanced and it is giving you the intuition, then you're really not going to find yourself in a situation where you don't understand what's going on. It's going to give you pretty good inclination pretty soon about what's happening for you. But again, you have to be really sure that that third eye is clear, that it's activated, that it's exercised, that it's nourished, so that you can fully hear what it is that your spirit is trying to communicate to you when it comes to any sort of issue. And then when it comes to, I mentioned like astral travel, I know that that sounds like really crazy and out there, but that's where you can actually travel through the different planes, and you can get yourself to a situation and into an energy where you're able to travel and you're able to go back to your soul family that you meet with to decide what you're going to learn in the earth schoolyard. You can go and visit them, and you can talk to them, and you can talk about what it is that you don't understand necessarily on a human level about what's happening for you. Or if you do have a numerology chart available, you can talk to your astral family, your spiritual family, like, why is it that I wanted to learn this? Or why did I have this karmic debt? What is it that I need to do moving forward? And then you can have that communication. So I know that that's really metaphysical. I know that that's really out there. But it's real, and it's actually like not necessarily like astral travel and things like that, but there are parts of these theories that are scientifically proven. We are made of energy. We are electromagnets. So we do vibrate with the earth, and when our spirit is not good, when our soul is not good and it's not well, it's going to affect our physical body. And it is scientifically proven that the energy is there, the energy is in the world, everything is made of energy. We are energy. So if those things are not in alignment, if the energy centers, aka your chakras, are not clear and vibrating beautiful color, then you're sending out vibrations into the earth that don't necessarily align with who you actually want to be. So again, having that intuition on what it is that you want to be, what you want to do, having that calling, that's coming from your third eye chakra. Okay, so let's get on to the good stuff. All right, so crystals. There's a lot of these crystals that I don't have, so unfortunately I'm just gonna have to show you pictures that are in the book. The one crystal that I do have, I brought over so that I can show you, but that's a little bit later. So crystals to activate the third eye. So if your third eye is already balanced, it's already free-flowing energy, then you can use these crystals to help activate the third eye. So it's actually diamonds. Diamonds can help activate the third eye. So whether it's rough natural diamond or Herkimer diamond, those are the two that you want to be looking for to help you activate. So if you do have a Herkimer diamond, I'll show you a picture. I mean, it very much looks like a real diamond. They're not, I don't think they're quite as expensive as real diamonds though. Just because it is a different mineral composition than like an actual, like this is rough uncut diamond here. Like it's just a little bit of a different structure. So I don't know if it's as valuable as actual diamonds, but that's something I can definitely look into. But if you have a Herkimer diamond and you're clear and you're ready to activate the third eye chakra, you want to rub the third eye briskly. Just like that. Rub it. It's going to feel really weird. Okay, and then lay down and then place the Herkimer diamond on the third eye and relax. And if you are ready and open to receive it, you will get assistance through vision and guidance. So that's activation. So to calm, so if you have excessive energy in the third eye, like I mentioned earlier, if any of those things are going on for you, what you can use is emerald. So you can use uncut raw emerald, you can use cut polished emerald, totally up to you. Emerald is a pretty expensive crystal, even in raw form. So just keep your eye out if you go to any metaphysical shops or anything like that. Just keep your eye out for them. I wish that I could recommend some online retailers, but I haven't found a reliable source for emeralds or Herkimer diamonds yet. But I do have a really great Canadian supplier. If there are anything that you wanted to find, if there is anything that you wanted to find, I can help you find it through there until I get my shop going. So this is the emerald. So this is showing you like raw and uncut, and then this is your cut and polished. Okay, so that helps to calm it. So you're going to kind of do the same thing that you did with the Herkimer. I probably wouldn't rub it quite as hard. I would just place it on the third eye and then lay down in meditation. It'll probably help to calm it down a little bit, and doing a breathing exercise with it as well. So you know the box breathing where we take in for 4, hold for 4, out for 4. I think that's what I would recommend to do. And then emeralds as well are good for calming the third eye as well. And emeralds are actually really good for migraines, and sapphires bring insight into spiritual matters. So the emerald does work more on a physical level, and then the sapphire is going to work on a spiritual level a little bit more. So I guess depending on what it is that you're looking for. So if you have migraines, really bad headaches, then the emerald's probably going to help you. You can put it on your third eye. But if you're looking to connect spiritually, trying to get some answers or bring in some guidance, then the sapphire is going to be the way to go. And your sapphire is just this gorgeous blue stone. So again, you can get it raw, uncut, or you can get it polished as well. And then to balance. So to balance the third eye, you can use lapis lazuli, and that is the one that I actually do have here. So it's a beautiful deep blue, and then it's got like this beautiful gold and white marbling through it. It's just absolutely beautiful stone, and I love the energy that comes through lapis lazuli. This is a pretty common stone, so they're not terribly expensive, which is the other really good part about it. But I love that stone. All right, so how to use the lapis to help balance the chakra. So I do recommend that if you have never had any kind of Reiki session before, that you do a Reiki session with a practitioner first, and then you can try some of these exercises on your own once things have kind of been cleared out through the chakras. But do understand that everyday events can sometimes create a block or an excess in the energy, and it's something that needs to be worked on consistently to really help and improve your vitality. But for balancing with the lapis lazuli, you're going to want to cleanse the lapis carefully, not with water because it is a soft stone. So you can cleanse it by holding it, by putting it in your windowsill under light for about an hour, or if you have sacred smoke like sage or Palo Santo, you can burn that and let the smoke just cover the stone. You can do it with sound bowls as well. You just put the crystal right in the bowl and then you vibrate it. The vibration of the sound will help cleanse it as well. And then you want to hold it to the third eye and ask to understand the lapis. It may be colors or pictures that will come into your head, or you may receive a message directly from the crystal. Whatever it is, thank the crystal before disconnecting from the body. So if you have this on your head and you're in meditation and you ask a specific question that you're having, you wanting some guidance on, then you're just going to want to meditate, probably laying down so you don't actually have to hold it. And even if you don't get what it is that you're looking for, any kind of guidance, you still want to thank the crystal for being there. You want to thank the energy for being there. You want to thank the spirit guides for trying to get a message through to you, because really gratitude is going to be the best way to get through to your spirit team. So even if you don't get exactly what you want, you still want to thank your spirit team for being there, because then it's going to create a really good bond between you, and it's going to help you get the answers that you actually do want. So it might take a couple of times before you actually start getting messages and you really feel like you're getting the guidance that you're looking for. Just make sure that you're always thanking your guides and your spirit team for being there, because appreciate being acknowledged for their work. You know, all of the time, well, most of the time we think that we just come up with these great ideas all on our own and these inventions and these revelations and all of these things, but a lot of the time it's our highest self and our spirit team that's been giving us the hints and been giving us the signs all along the way. So it's really important to thank them and give gratitude to them. So for the essential oils, see, I thought I had basil. I couldn't find it, so maybe not. So you can use frankincense. This is what I have here. I have doTERRA's frankincense. There are lots of great quality oils out there for sure. Just be really, really cautious about buying at just regular health food stores. Really make sure you're taking a look at the ingredient list to make sure that there's no chemical fillers. And therapeutic grade. You want to see therapeutic grade on the essential oil to make sure that it is not just a perfume or a scent, okay? Because it's not going to have the healing properties. This stuff is actually from plants. So these have certain properties that work with our bodies to help these things. So you want to make sure that's therapeutic grade. So whether it's doTERRA, they're great. I know lots of people love Young Living. That's also a great one. If you're looking for one that's not like an MLM kind of company, there's another one that I use that I really love to, let's see here. They're called Revive. I'm sure you've seen their ads on Facebook. If you're an essential oil person, you've probably seen their ads. I have compared theirs to my doTERRA stuff, and honestly, it's very, very close. So it is cheaper because you're kind of getting rid of that middleman of the advocate or the associate, whatever it is that they call them. So it is a little bit more budget friendly. But the thing that I love about doTERRA is that they really do go through extensive testing to ensure that this is the greatest quality. And not only is it therapeutic grade, but like it is certified pure therapeutic grade. A lot of them are organic as well. They don't do pesticides. And the other thing that I really love about doTERRA versus some of the other companies is that they actually work with people, they actually work with the people in these like countries and communities that have these things. So they outsource it. They go to where the plant naturally lives and is native to, so that they can get their oil. Some other companies actually try to grow and reinvent the environment for the plants, but it doesn't work the same. It doesn't quite carry through the same properties. So that's the only reason why I would put doTERRA a little bit above anybody else. I don't know if the other companies do that or not, but I know for sure that doTERRA does. And that's something that I really appreciate, because not only are they working with some of these communities that are not very wealthy, they're helping families, they're helping communities, they're bringing money into the economy for these places. So it's just a really beautiful thing, and I just really appreciate and love it. So frankincense, back to the thing, frankincense. So it has a wonderful spicy perfume extracted from the resinous gum of a small North African tree. It's been used for centuries as an embalming oil. Today it's golden gummy pieces. So they're talking about like the actual resin and not the oil, but you can use the oil too. Gummy pieces still form the main ingredient of the incense burned in Christian churches. So you can burn frankincense directly on special charcoal discs or use thick amber colored essential oil in a vaporizer. Diffuser is more the word I would use there instead of vaporizer. So frankincense promotes a feeling of profound relaxation and deepens awareness of breath, taking you into dream states where past memories may be more easily accessed. So for the physical body, as well as benefiting respiratory infections and asthma, it helps to slow down and deepen the breathing and is best used as a gentle chest massage, which also helps to open the often constricted chest area. Frankincense promotes new skin cells and is anti-inflammatory, antiseptic, astringent, digestive, diuretic, and sedative. There's lots of things that frankincense can do. It's so wonderful. And then secondly is basil. So basil is an aromatic herb that is much used in Italian cooking. Basil was once powdered and taken as snuff. As an essential oil, is excellent in a diffuser to clear the head and to give strength, helping to balance third eye, Vishuddha, and the minor head chakras. So basil was valued in medieval times as part of a blend for anointing the heads of kings and queens during coronation ceremonies and was called the royal herb. It is effective for nervous disorder, poor memory, lack of concentration, and headaches caused by congestion. Basil tea is recommended to sober you up if you are drunk. As a massage oil, it is best as a blend with lemon and geranium and should never be used excessively. It should not be used as a bath oil as it may cause skin irritation. Avoid any use of basil throughout pregnancy. So really, if you are using essential oils to help calm the third eye, I mostly recommend diffusing or inhaling. So inhaling would just be putting a little bit of the oil in the palm of your hand, rubbing it together, and then just cupping your face. And just breathing it in. Oh, it's lovely. Frankincense. What you can do if you don't have a diffuser. So don't let the diffuser hold you back. Diffusers can be a little bit pricey, so don't let that hold you back because there's other ways that you can do it, and it's going to be just as beneficial. So yoga positions that you can do for the third eye. All right, so we've got downward dog. And that one also helps balance the heart too. So it's going to kind of bring a few things into alignment doing the downward dog. So this one is a yoga pose, but it's also a mudra. So a mudra is usually like different hand positions that you can do. And that just helps to create a different flow of energy. I haven't really talked about mudras too much. I think I did a little bit in the last one, but I will do a lesson specifically on mudras because they're really, really powerful, especially used in certain ways, and especially for anybody that knows anything about Kundalini yoga, mudras are so important. It just really helps the energy flow. So this one is the yoga mudra in Padmasana. All right, so you kind of sit in like the lotus position, but then you have your hands clasped behind you with your chest completely out. And then you want to bend forward as far as you can. Now, I understand, especially me, I'm not going to be able to reach the floor, but bend down as far as you can and bringing your arms back up as far as you can as well. Okay, these are yoga positions that are going to help to balance the third eye chakra. And then we've got the plow pose as well. This one can really help get energy flowing through. So this is the plow pose. You start in this position and then you slowly and very carefully want to bring the legs down over. Okay? And this will help balance the chakra a little bit better. So that's it today for the Third Eye Chakra Series lesson. Thank you so much for being here. And I'm just going to take a second and see if anybody has any questions. Hi, Melissa. Thank you for joining. And then I think I've got my chakra cards here. I got my chakra oracle cards here. So I'm thinking I'll do a little card pull for anybody that's here if you want one. We'll just do a single card draw, the chakra cards, and then we can see kind of where the universe wants you to send some loving energy to and maybe a bit of a message for you. So if you're down for a card, let me know. Melissa, I miss your face, girl. I'll just give it a little shuffle and give it a minute, see if there are any questions come through or if anybody wants a card. I'm going to do one for myself regardless, so. All All right, I'm going to do a card pull for myself and see where I need to do the most work and if there's any kind of message to go with it. This one wanted to come out. All right. Yes, Melissa, you will get a card. Just going to see what happened here. Oh, shoot, I got to redo that. Sorry, I just had a client here and I did chakra cards for her, so I just got to quickly write down the cards that I got for her, and then I got to add it to the pile. So sorry, 1 second. What is the date today? 25th. All right, girls, I will get you a card. Just 1 quick second. Destiny. All right. Sorry, I forgot that I still had cards out. I gotta get them back in the deck. Oh. All right. Perfect. Yes, Melissa, watch the read. This is a really interesting one. It's very metaphysical because it's about the third eye and psychic capabilities and things of that nature. But I really did go through like some physical and emotional ailments that you can have if the third eye is out of balance. I agree. February is absolutely flying by. I cannot believe that we're almost at the end of it already. Ooh. All right. All right, so Melissa, I'll do your card pull. Calling in the guides for Melissa. Is there a chakra or a message? Chakra that needs help. A message. Oh, that one right there. Alrighty, so your chakra. What did I do? There we go. Let's see that one. All right, so we've got root, sacral, solar, heart, throat. So for you, Melissa, it's the throat chakra. So I don't know if there's something that's going on for you right now where you're having trouble communicating the way that you're truly feeling. I feel like there's a situation right now where maybe you're not expressing yourself wholeheartedly. Maybe because there's a little bit of fear of what might come of it. Like if you say something, no, I don't think it's a fear. I think that there's just something that maybe you're not saying that you need to say. And the card actually came through as isolation. That's for your throat chakra. So I'm just going to take a look at the book here and see what it has to say. So it says, do not wait for the right time to live your life. You are on the verge of something big, but if you don't participate, it could pass you by. So the personal inquiry that you should make for yourself is, Sapphire does not know the difference between isolation and solitude. Do I? So the difference between isolation and solitude, very, very different, although they have a lot of the same effect. But isolation is something that you've chosen to withdraw yourself from. But when solitude is when you understand that you just need the moment by yourself. Right? So I'm having a feeling that because you're not saying what it is that you need to say, you've kind of got yourself isolated a little bit by not expressing the truth. I don't know if that resonates with you, but that's like really what I'm feeling. There's just something that's not being said that needs to be said. And, you know, maybe it's something that you're not even aware of yet. And there's a potential that if you were to do a Reiki session, that something may come to you, something that you haven't been honest either with yourself or somebody else with. So keep that in consideration. All right, Kayla. All right, I'm calling in the guides for Kayla. Is there a chakra that needs some help and or a message? What do we have for her today? This one here is jumping out. All right, so that's interesting. I'm pretty sure that that is the third eye chakra. Let's see. No, that's the crown chakra. All right, so for you, there's something that's going on up here. This is your crown chakra up here. I know we haven't really talked about crown chakra too much yet, but it is very much related to your third eye as well. It is a lot about instinct. Sorry, my get up here is like falling down. There we go. So maybe it's that, no, I'm getting the feeling that there's just too much on the brain. That's exactly what I heard when I was just tapping into it. There's too much on the brain. There's too much that you're thinking about, and you're kind of going in circles, I feel like. I get the sense that there's something that you're kind of debating right now. And yeah, I feel like you're debating something right now and you're really not sure which way to go. And it's been making your mind race a lot recently. And it almost seems like you just cannot keep up with your own thoughts because they are just going nonstop. And that could be part of what's creating the headache too. But the card that came up for you is the instinct card. So if there is something that you're struggling with, whether it be a decision or something, this card is here to remind you that the answer is within you. You have very good instincts. We all have really amazing intuition. It's just about tapping into it and being open to receiving it. But if there's something that you've really been questioning lately, you already know. You already know the answer. You need to be willing to accept the answer. But let's see what the book has to say, although I feel like what I just said kind of was the message, but let's just see here. So your instinct is finely tuned, so why doubt it? Your journey is guided. So the personal inquiry, something to ask yourself is, how can I master letting go and move on? Do I trust my inner guidance? So the key ideas behind this card is there's a solitary journey. Spirit lies on the road ahead, led by spirit and following your instinct. So the one that kind of jumps out at me a little bit more is the solitary journey. There's something that you personally are going through right now. There's something personally that you need to work through. And I feel like maybe you're even beating yourself up a little bit about this decision that you may need to make. But just understand and tap into yourself and know that you already know the answer. And I don't think it's a lack of being brave to make the decision. I think that there's just a lot of things that are wrapped up in it. Like, I think that there's a bit of a snowball effect depending on the decision that you make. But just know that everything happens for a reason. Everything happens the way that it's supposed to happen. So try to sit in meditation and ask yourself the question that you are trying to make the decision on. So whatever that is, just sit in meditation. What do I need to know about this situation? And if your third eye is balanced and not excessive, then you're going to get the answer. But if you need some help with that, you know how to reach me. You know how to get set up with a Reiki session. So I'll leave that in your hands. But just know that I'm here for you. I'm here to support you. If there is something that you're really having trouble with and you need to talk about it, you can always reach out to me. But you already know in your heart of hearts what it is that you need to do or what it is that you need to decide. Okay? Oh, oh, Kayla. Well, I'm happy that it's spot on for selfish reasons that I got the message through to you. I'm sorry that you have a sad face about it because I have a feeling it's not an easy decision and it's something that you've probably been having a struggle with for a little while. And I want to ask you the headaches that you've been having. have those headaches started at the same time that this issue or this kind of feeling that something needed to change, some sort of decision needed to be made? Did the headaches kind of start at the same time as that? Just think about that. It's your body telling you that it's not in alignment with what you want, what you believe. There's a misalignment there. Okay? So you just reach out to me if you need anything, okay? All right, ladies, thank you so much for being here. It was an absolute joy to finally get on here and do the third eye chakra. I know I'm a couple weeks late, but I personally was going through a bit of, I don't even know what you would call it. I guess you could call it like a contraction. When you're doing like spiritual and personal work, you kind of have like these growths where everything feels really amazing and good and you're on top of the world, and then you have these moments where things kind of decompress and start to fall away and like start to feeling a little bit of a lower energy. And that's definitely where I was definitely like in a bit of a lower energy. I was going through something. I was going through a cycle. I had a lot of anger actually to release, and I did that, and it was really good, and I've been feeling really inspired ever since. So it was definitely something that I needed to go through. It was definitely like a bit of a spiritual cleansing cycle that I kind of went through. So that's why I went a little MIA. But I am back. I'm feeling recharged. I feel good. Hopefully I'll be here next week for crown chakra, but I am not going to put myself on a timeline because I don't want to feel guilty if I can't make it. Just know I'll be here for the crown as soon as I can. And I hope everybody has a wonderful Tuesday. Have a great day, and we will chat very, very soon. Bye.